and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is March 6th, 2026, and this is episode 158. My name is Roz, and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada, with my husband and my two kids who are almost 16 and 14. Today for you, I have what am I wearing, finished objects, works in progress, stash, and books. So let's get into the episode. If you'd like to find me anywhere else on the internet, you can look for me as Rosberry Crafts on Instagram and Ravelry and Blue Sky, although I don't post there very often, and all the places. And you can also find all the links to everything I talk about down below, including my Ko-fi account if you're interested in supporting the podcast financially. No pressure though, this is free. You get me like this for free. We're in a new location today, kind of. I've just kind of turned around so that the sun is not like directly on me, and hoping to get some better lighting. This is a lovely painting that my husband and I got for our wedding a very long time ago from a family friend. He painted it, and he is an artist. That is what he does for a living. Anyway, maybe I'll take a full picture of it and put it here so you can see the whole thing, but it's very cool. He has a very unique style and we love it. It's kind of on one of our feature walls in our dining room. Okay, enough about this. Let's get on to this. What am I wearing? That is a good question. This is the vanilla shawl. It is made out of some fireweed fiber co in her sweet pea sock, and this was a fade set. So it was a full skein, 6 skein fade set that I made into a shawl, and then I used all the leftovers to make this lovely smaller shawl that I actually wear all the time. I will have put all the details on the screen because I can't remember who made the pattern or what exactly the fade set was called. So all of that will have been on the screen, and I will link my project page on Ravelry down below so you can check out all the details if you want to. But I wear this one all the time, and I wear this style all the time. Actually, I'm already considering. So if you've been watching for a while, thoughts are just exploding in my head right now. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I am on a mission to use up my oldest yarn. I have yarn from Gauge Dye Works, which is a self-striping shawl yarn. So not like socks where you get like the rounds that are self-striping. This is a specifically designed for a shawl. And I had knit it into a shawl shape that just didn't work for me. It wasn't quite big enough to like really sit around my neck, and I just never pinned it. I just never wore it, and it is a beautiful color, special to, it was a color designed for one of the Knit City Vancouvers. Anyway, and I've been really I ripped out the shawl. I knit the shawl, wore it to the next year's Knit City, didn't really, I tried to figure out how to wear it and I just wasn't wearing it, and it is beautiful yarn. So I frogged the whole thing, and I am going to try again. And I'm thinking something more like this shape. It's hard to see in this yarn because it's so busy, but there are like these eyelets which just stretch it a bit further, a 1 skein shawl. So it won't be quite as big as this, I don't think, but I think that this shape I would wear more. Although I have, I don't know, it's not my oldest, it's one of my oldest yarns because I did buy it a very long time ago. It was one of the first Knit Cities that I went to, and well, it wasn't the first, maybe it was the first one. I can't remember. It was like my kids were little, and now they're teenagers. So it was definitely a long time ago, but it's not my oldest according to my Ravelry page, because that's the thing that I'm going by for this project that I have taken on, is using up my oldest stash according to Ravelry. So when I frogged this, I put it back into my stash as a new stash item, because I don't know that I had all my stash in when I actually, it wasn't in the used up area. So I just added it as a new one. So it's not in the oldest, but it is one of my older yarns. It just was in a shawl for a long time. Anyway, I'm not even talking about the things that I came to talk here that are on my notes. I've just completely, immediately tangent into another whole project, but it has been percolating in my mind. So let's move on to finished objects. I have one finished object for you this week. I finished my cowl, and I didn't trim the end at the bottom, so just ignore that. It is washed and blocked, and it is beautiful. I did pin it when I blocked it, so it did kind of create a nice shape. I'm not going to put it on right now because it'll mess with my whole microphone situation, but it did block out beautifully. The texture just gives it a little bit of depth, and when it does kind of, if you imagine, it's on my neck, it's kind of bunched up, right? It just gives it a little bit of kind of texture instead of just plain stockinette. Let's get into the details. This is the Simple Yet Effective Cowl by Tin Can Knits. I did knit it from their app. If you don't have their app and you like any of their patterns, go download their app. You can link it to your Ravelry account, so you can have all those patterns in there. You can get, if you bought something from their website, you can get all of that stuff in there. Great app. They have a ton of free stuff too, like all their simple collection patterns. So yeah, this turned out beautiful. The yarn is a Madeline Tosh Merino DK in Lepidorta. Dortra? I don't know. It's a beautiful purple and pink color. It was a skein of DK yarn that I had in my stash like forever, and I finally used it up. I haven't decided whether this will go into my closet or whether it'll go into my donation bin. It washed up beautifully. It is a single ply yarn, so it definitely behaves differently than like a commercial yarn, but I love this. It washed up so soft. I'm so happy for it. Okay, that is it for finished objects, but I am so close to finishing it. I had to put it on the floor because the bag is so big now. This is in one of my Tracy bags. Oh, it's so good, you guys. Okay, I'm going to show you my Kintra. Kintra is a pattern by Rebecca Clow, and it is a top-down sweater. And it has amazing color work that I did with an advent. It is a 1x1 color work, and it's meant for like a few colors, although she has had some other, like she designed it with advents in mind, but it doesn't have to be advents. So good. It's so good. Look, I got a whole sleeve all the way down, and here's the other sleeve. It's all finished, ends woven in, the collar is tucked over. That was done last week. I had one sleeve last week. I have finished knitting the body, and I am on the ribbing. It's happening. It is happening. And this color, it's just so good. And the skeins, I have not alternated skeins at all for the main color, and I think that it has turned out beautiful. So the yarn is Fireweed Fiber Co. in the Wood Lily DK. So this is a tweed yarn. I think it's pretty obvious. And it is in the color, is it navy or is it black? Because it is very slightly blue undertoned. But it is amazing. It is so amazing. So I'm on the ribbing. I am gonna do 3 inches of ribbing, or 30 rounds of ribbing, which is the same as I did for the cuff. I think that'll give me a good length. And currently have this much left in this ball. I have a full skein plus a bit that I took out from my swatch. So I have plenty of yarn to finish this project. And, you know, I'm just slowly and surely working on that ribbing in the evenings a little bit, but I have cast on a few new things. So that sweater is so close to being done. I'm running out of steam on it a little bit because I'm kind of dreading the cast off, because I am going to do a tubular cast off just like I did on the cuffs. When it's on the body of a sweater though, so you need 4 times the amount of yarn to go around the circumference of the sweater. And that is a lot of yarn to pull through and you pull it through each stitch twice. If you need a tutorial, I will link a tutorial down below on Very Pink Knits. She has amazing tutorials of everything knitting, some crochet. Check her out if you're interested in tutorials. I'm not going to do tutorials, but I'm kind of dreading actually finishing this sweater. So I've kind of been stalling on doing that, but that's okay because I have cast on 2 new projects and they are both with oldest yarn. So the first one is a sock. I have not decided what heel I'm doing yet, but here is the sock. It is super fun. It's a self-patterning yarn, and it is some yarn I picked up. It's called Online. I did find it in Ravelry, and I'm not sure why the thing is black and white. It is a German yarn that is made in Italy. That's the information I could find out about it. It is 75% superwash wool and 25% polyamide. It definitely has like a grippy wool feel to it, not flavor. Like it's definitely like a workhorse yarn. It's not super soft like a merino, but I am loving how this is working up. I just did a 64 stitch cast on, 20 something rounds of 1x1 rib, which is what I usually do. And there's a hair of mine that's like locked in there. Obviously it was knit in. And then, yeah, I've just been going round and round. I'm probably gonna do 80 rounds for the cuff and then figure out what heel I'm putting in. Probably a short row heel. I've been really liking the Knitting Expats vanilla heel. I own that one, and it comes with a, sorry, I'm just tucking the yarn in. It comes with an option. I have the option for the mini gusset, so that gives that short row heel just a little bit more space, which has been working really well on my foot shape. So it's probably what I'll do, but to be determined. But that has been kind of my on-the-go knitting. It is in my triangle bag, which is my on-the-go project. And Taylor has been in a play. It started last night. I've been to some rehearsals and stuff, so it's just that has been my on-the-go knitting. I'm going to watch the play twice more next week, so I will have another few hours of knitting time done on that. And the last project I put in my rainbow bag, clearly I have favorite bags around here. And the next yarn to use up is this purple that I got in Idaho. And it's there we go. It's just this kind of 2-ply variegated, it's very like almost thick and thin, a little bit overspun kind of, yarn. And it is Dying to Please sock wool in purple. So it was dyed at the yarn store that we went to. And I don't remember much else about it because we were on vacation with little kids and I probably was just like, you know what, that looks good. I like purple, let's just take that. And then I've got my souvenir yarn done. And it did come with a mohair. I think there was like a scarf pattern or something that was with it, and I never ended up knitting that, so it's just been sitting in my stash. I've used a bit of it here and there for little things, but now I'm using up all of it, and I've decided on a whim to pair it with this. This is some Fireweed Fabric Co. in her Sweet Pea sock, and this is from her monthly club from May of 2023. And the color, I didn't write it in my notes, but is You're Not Special, You're Extraordinary, which I think this was a Buffy reference. I can't remember, which I'm currently rewatching. It's super fun. Anyway, I decided to make a muscle bra. This is my 24th one, according to Ravelry. And everything is tangled. Okay, there we go. So I cast on with the purple and just did like most of the increases with the purple. And then I'm doing 2 stripes of the Firewood Fiber Co. and 4 stripes of the purple. And then when I get halfway through the hat, I'm going to swap to the 4 stripes of the greenish color and 2 stripes of the purple. So you'll get like a more purple hat or a more green hat. And I may run out of, I probably definitely will run out of the purple before I run out of the green. Don't drop stitches. And then I will just knit the remainder of the hat in the green. And then people have options on what they can do with that hat. So that'll go in the donation bin. And that is everything that I've been working on. So I've made a lot of progress on both of those. I'm gonna get my sweater finished. You're gonna see a finished sweater next week. Who knows, maybe not, I don't know. Let's move on to stash. I'll get my fun notebook that I am still using probably for the last year. This year, I'm more than halfway through it now, so yeah. All right, so what do we got? February is now complete because it is March, and I have 0 yarn in. So January, February, 0 yarn in, pretty good. I'm feeling good about this. Yarn out, I have my Mithilweight socks, checkerwork hat, undertone cowl. I have the Musselburgh and the Simple Yet Effective cowl. All of that adds up to 1,226 meters. So I am doing pretty darn good. My year-to-date numbers are 0 in, no in so far. And for the yarn out, I added up January and February, and it was 2,121 meters. So I am doing good. I do have my March all set up and ready to go. And yeah, I'm feeling very good about that. I have my oldest yarn. I have the next couple items sort of looked at, figured out on what I want to do. Well, I've got 2 of them on the go right now. The Firewood Fiber Co., the green one that's going with the purple, is not in the oldest yarn category, but that's fine. I can add other yarns to it. It's my thing. I can make whatever rules I want. And then I have a red yarn that was also, I believe, from the same place in Idaho. And I don't really know much about it. So I'm just gonna knit it up into a Musselburgh. Probably like a half Musselburgh, so I'll start at the crown and go down, and then eventually just do a bunch of ribbing and see where I get to. And if it's super long, somebody will like it. I don't think there's enough there. It's definitely less than 100 grams, so I don't think there's enough there to make like a full Musselburgh hat. So I think that's what I'll do. It's in here, but it's in the bottom. I'm not gonna pull it out. So yeah, I feel like I'm making good progress on that. I have my like must make 2026 small list of things that I kind of keep going back to and be like, oh right, I wanted to make this. Unfortunately, quite a few things on there require either A, more brain power to start them, or B, I need to purchase yarn to make them. Although I really do want to make a couple of those things. So I'm not really sure where to go with that, but I'm gonna keep looking at those and make sure that those things that I was so excited about in January, that they stay on my list. All right, so that's it for stash. And the last item is books. I've only finished 1 book this week, which completes a series, which is very exciting, and it's called As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. And this is part of the series A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It is a 3-book series, no novellas, no extras, just those 3 books. They were all very good. I mean, As Good as Dead, I think, kind of wrapped everything up. There was a few kind of loose ends that if you really thought about it, you could see from other books. There's a lot of troubling things in the second 2 books. I mean, the first one too. It's a teenage girl looking into a 5-year-old murder for her capstone project for high school. So, that's a bit troubling to begin with, but she kind of goes down a really bad road. But I think in the end, she starts to figure it out and get her life back on track. Yeah, but there's some pretty dark stuff that she goes through, including doing some very dark things. I think if you're interested in reading it, definitely know there is some gore and some violence and some drugs and stuff. And it's classified as a YA. If I had read this series first, I don't know that I would have felt comfortable with my 14-year-old reading it. She read it before me though. The first one, for sure, it's more murder mystery, figuring it out, you know, she's skirting the line of like, you know, she's not doing illegal things. She's just doing, you know, she's pushing people's buttons in order to get them to talk to her about the stuff. But in the second and third book definitely goes way into those rabbit holes and, you know, does stuff that's definitely across the line. She does kind of come to terms with it in the end and kind of gets away with it though. So yeah, there's the third book definitely hit me heavy, and like about halfway through I was like, you know, I don't know if I can finish this book, but I did, and it's very well written. The writing is very good. I just feel like I'm not used to those kind of books where I don't like the main character and don't agree with what she's doing. So there we go. That is my review of that series. That series is done. I am still listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm on the third book for that one. And, you know, I've got a couple other books on the go. I'm waiting for a couple books from my library, which will hopefully come in soon. So we'll have some more books again next week. That's all that I have for you today. And we will see you guys again next time. Bye.